What is up, guys? Welcome back to Small Talks. I'm your host, Aaron De Guzman, and let's do this. Okay, so while waiting for my update, uh, let's see what we have in the mail. Okay, so the topic for today is should you invest in the stock market? Now, if you have taken notice, a lot of companies went bankrupt this year, hashtag 2020, because of the coronavirus. A lot of companies couldn't sustain their operations. A lot of them went bankrupt. And if you have investments already, you should know that almost all of your stocks have taken a toll, or some of them have gained significant losses over the period. Now, if you're a newbie or if you're new to investing, here is what I suppose I could recommend. Okay? This is what I can recommend to you. Yes, you should invest in stocks because stocks is a great way for your money to grow. Aside from banks, aside from properties, aside from real estate, stocks is the next best thing that you could invest. It's better than investing in networking or pyramiding schemes. Well, it's for me. I don't know if it's for you. But if you really wish to make it a passive form of income, here are 10 tips that I can recommend based on my experience as a stock trader. Since this is my personal top 10, a disclaimer warning has already been made. If you look into the screen, so some of my methods or some of my tips may not be effective on you or may not correlate with yours, but these are my personal tips. So take that with a grain of salt. Okay, tip number one: understand how the stock market works. Have you ever wondered how banks make money? Banks invest into other companies using your hard-earned money to gain a profit. Okay, so if banks can do that to other companies, why shouldn't you? Well, you can. You just have to know what you're investing. A stock is a piece of property of the company that you are buying so that you can have part ownership of a company. Now, a lot of companies issues millions and millions of stock shares throughout their life period. So, your partial share is often small than let's say the owner or the shareholders or all of those things. But whenever the company makes a profit, you do too. However, if it does incur losses, you do too. So take that in mind. Tip number two: learn how to take risk and learn how to manage them. Okay? Part of stock trading is taking risk and also managing them. Because stocks are intangible products that have a very volatile situation, it's your job to it's your discernment on whether or not to invest or not. A good way to develop risk is to understand how risky it is to invest in those types of companies. You also have blue chips, which are very stable. So if you think of stability, think of the top 10 companies here in the Philippines, and they probably have stock shares that they trade in the Philippine Stock Exchange. So keep that in mind. Another way is you have to learn how to manage those types of risk. Don't take unnecessary risk with your money. You can, but you may not get the payout you deserve or what you wanted. Okay? Learn how to manage those risks. Don't throw away your hard-earned money on something too risky even for you. You should know those types of things before you start investing because a smart investor tests the water before going in. Tip number three: find a suitable budget. Now, it's okay to start small when it comes to stock investments. Okay? If you can find a way to save your money so that you have something to invest on, that's great. If you have a lot of money to spend, that's great too. But don't let that hinder your operations or your dreams of becoming a stock trader just because you don't have enough money. Start saving and make sure that you're always saving so that it builds up gradually. Okay, the moment you know it, you have 10,000 pesos for you to invest in stocks. Tip number 4, find a legit trading platform. Now, you wouldn't have trouble with these. A lot of banks offer stock trading platforms. There is also Call Financial, which is where I trade. But a lot of the uninitiated or the new ones tend to know, tend to not know actually, tend to not know how are they going to invest in the stock market. It's simple. Go to the Philippine Stock Exchange or in their website and then learn how to trade. You can also find legitimate trading companies which are allowed by the PSE to trade and distribute them. If your company or if someone is offering a company that is not listed there, then it's a scam. So find a legitimate trading platform that you can work with. Number 5, accept that you are going to lose money on your first try. No one is an expert trader here, guys, especially if you're just starting out. Before you sink all of your life savings into your account, make sure that your account, the credited account inside your platform, you should be able to explore all that it has to offer. You don't have to buy large stocks, you don't have to buy small stocks. You can just explore the platform itself. You can trade in a few, you can buy a few shares, see what happens just to get a feel of it. Okay? Just make sure that before you jump, you test the water first. Tip number 6, remove the networking syndrome. Let's say this. How many of you have already been approached by a networker or let's say a scammer or a pyramiding scam? A lot of kids tend to think that just because they invested it right now, let's say I invested 10,000 on a stock, that I can expect immediately that there will be a payoff. There are some instances that happen like that. Those are what we call day traders. But if you're looking for, let's say, a passive income, I think it's a lot more stable if you hold on or if you invest in stable companies that gradually grow so that your money grows along with it. Now, does it take a short time to do? Of course not. A lot of great companies had to start somewhere and that they continue to grow. That is the best company to invest in because you get dividends in the long run. So, bottom line, remove the get rich quick scheme in your mind and just let your money grow. Tip number 7, if you're a beginner, invest in blue chips. Blue chips are those companies that have a very stable background. Okay, let's say they have been 20 years in the industry, 50 years in the industry. Those are the companies that you should be investing in, especially for beginners. Why? Because you're trusting someone who has tons of experience in handling a business. Wouldn't you like to have someone in your corner doing that? Tip number 8, and one of my favorites, read the news. There are more ways to view a company's performance or predict its outcome rather than watching spreadsheets. Read the news, read the financial sections on any companies that you like so that you can make a decisive decision. Want me to give you an example? Check out the new telco. Let's say Ditto. So Ditto started out with 1.50 last, I think, May. And then look where it is now. It's about 5.73 as of this day. Especially given that it has already been given a license to operate and will launch in 2021. So for those who have invested in Ditto, I suggest that you monitor the news for any changes that you could never get by watching spreadsheets. Tip number 9, speak to professionals, but don't believe in hearsay. These professionals offer sound advice, and I believe their words have some merit to them. Okay? But what I don't want you to do is base your entire stock trading platform methodology into listening to hearsay. You never know what the person next to you is going to do. So I would suggest doing your research first before you listen to hearsay. Now, I'm not saying to neglect it. I'm just saying place it into consideration along with your own research. And lastly, number 10, don't be afraid of missed opportunities. When you're trading, a lot of opportunities will come by. Some of them you can take, some of them you can't. So don't worry about it. There will always be another opportunity among the horizon. So it's like riding the bus. If you missed it, there will always be another one to take its place. So just keep trading, guys. That is it, guys. 10 tips on what to do before you start trading. Thank you for watching. As always, leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. A big special thank you to all my subscribers out there who have helped me grow this channel exponentially. Thank you for supporting my videos. Thank you for watching them, and I hope I can do you guys proud. Okay, so see you on the next show.